Well, hello there again. You know, not too long ago, a few minutes ago, half an hour ago, I was listening to one of them videos that Russell Brand puts up on the, that YouTube. But I enjoy listening to that guy. You know, for all the talking heads and everything that there are, I don't care who you want to listen to. Doesn't really matter, from that Mad Owl woman to that guy that's got there's all kinds of them. There's that guy that got kicked off of Fox. That guy that's got his own station down there, guess in Texas. Doesn't really matter who you listen to. They're all spreading fertilizer all over the weeds to help the weeds grow. But that Russell Brand, he sounds like he comes as close and as thoughtfully close to the truth as anybody. Now, he's talking today about that Gaza and that Israel and that war going on over there, about all the profit that's being made by all these major companies that are in that military complex. And it's talking about that kind of stuff. And I was listening to that, and it really sounded about right. Because, you know, for most things around the world, he showed a picture with markers of all the military bases around China. Down there in the South China Sea, or down there in, over there in the Pacific, the Western Pacific and that. And he was showing a picture of all the military bases that's over there around Iran, the American military bases. Holy catfish! I don't know. I guess, well, when you go back into the heyday of the Empire of Great Britain, when they was in India and when they was in all them countries, and you go and you look at everywhere they had troops, everywhere they had their warships and that. Oh, it was really magnificent. They were out to rule the world. Well, they couldn't quite do it. Spain messed them up a few times. France tried to mess them up a few times. Napoleon, he wound up selling Louisiana Purchase to old Thomas Jefferson and the boys of Washington, because he was in it with Great Britain. You know, and you get to figure, and you get to paying attention to all the money and all the lives. You know, they say there was 50,000 people, Americans, that were killed in Vietnam. Well, there's more than that. They talk about all these ones that have been killed since 9/11, since Al-Qaeda took down them corporate headquarters in New York, the Twin Towers, and all this stuff. We got all these soldiers all over the place, all this military industrial complex spread all over the world. Why, it's protecting and spreading democracy. Now, if that ain't a pile of that natural fertilizer that comes out of the back ends of them cattle and bulls, I don't know what is. In the first place, the United States, they say the supreme law of the land is the U.S. Constitution. Well, the U.S. Constitution doesn't set up democracy. It sets up a Republican form of government. And we ain't got that. We lost that in the Civil War, and that 17th Amendment about senators being elected by the people from the parties in something like 1913, I think it was. That was the death knell of anything Republican form to do with the federal government. See, we're a union of 50 independent, sovereign nations. Back in the day, they called them states. France was a state at the time of the Constitution. Great Britain was a state. Spain was a state. You get to paying attention. Why, Prussia was a state. It was a country all its own. You see, you get to paying attention to what these people have done. Oh, it's magnificent when you sit and figure and you read and study and you get just to follow the whole list of lies down on that bullet deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that's happened ever since the administration passed them Alien and Sedition Acts. You get down, you come through, and you read and you pay attention, you get down, 1830. Why, them Jackson and his boys, Jackson's administration passed that Indian Removal Act that made that great thing of putting all them savages on these, moving them out of where they were bothering the Europeans that had moved in and took over and forcing them. Well, the Trail of Tears. They took them a whole bunch. 5 different tribes was involved in that, going up to that Oklahoma Indian territories. Boy, all this was such wonderful stuff. We got soldiers and military industrial complex all over the world. We're spending billions of dollars in Ukraine. Biden wants to spend billions of dollars to support Israel. He wants to send billions of dollars in aid to them Palestinians. You know something? When you get to paying attention, that whole thing, Afghanistan, where the United States created Osama bin Laden. They taught him, they made him, they gave him money, they gave him munitions, everything. That, we had no business being there. We were fighting Russia by proxy through them Afghanis. Look what it got us. Wow, we really got, when Biden pulled the troops out of Afghanistan, that was such a marvelous, wonderful day. Yeah, well, that was another splatter of that stuff that comes out of the back end of a bull. You go through, you pay attention. We got no business being in those people's places. Do you understand? Go read the definition of liberty. They got every right. Them warlords, them thieves, them crooks, them whatever they are over there in Africa, in the Middle East, in Russia, in China, in India and all that, they got every right to do what they want to do without our interference. Now, we got the right to protect ourselves. That's like somebody, I don't care where it is in the United States, somebody crashes into a house for one of them robberies, and that lady is sitting in there, that 70-year-old woman sitting in a rocking chair, just rocking back and forth, and she got that 44 that she's had since she was a girl, and she boom, a boom, a boom, and puts 3 of them in their grave. No big deal. That was every bit her right. It was their right to crash into her house. And it was her right to protect herself. That's the way it works. If people don't want to protect themselves, if they like the government they're living under, if they don't want to revolt in that, it's none of our business. If they do want to revolt, they do want this, they do want... It's none of our business. Got it? People talk about, I don't care, you want to get religious? It's the wicked destroying evil in all of these conflicts around the world. It's not the good destroying them. The good, the so-called American good democracy is causing a lot of these conflicts around the world because we got our noses in their business. Well, you all have a nice day. Think about it. Do a little reading, do a little studying, pay attention. Talk again. May God bless you all. Have a beautiful, wonderful Sunday.